Richard Hudson has been with the University of Arkansas since 1994. Prior to that, he was a vice president at what is now the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith. A native of Warren, Arkansas, he earned his bachelor's degree at Ouachita Baptist University and his master's at Baylor University. In his position with the University of Arkansas, Mr. Hudson spends a great deal of time in Little Rock working with legislators, the governor's office, and various state agencies, and in Washington working with the members of the Arkansas congressional delegation. His community relations role involves working with communities throughout Arkansas. He is on the board of directors of the Arkansas State Chamber of Commerce, the board of directors of the Arkansas Sheriff's Youth Ranches, and the board of advisors of the Arkansas World Trade Center.
I don't think I have ever worked with anyone that has a greater grasp for the needs of the university as well as the political climate of the state of Arkansas, and how important it is to stay in close contact with our legislators, with the executive branch, with the people that run the state.
He doesn't talk to policymakers, whether legislators or governors or congressional people or whoever, unless he knows what he's talking about, and then he doesn't tell them anything except the truth. Now, he will tell it in the light most favorable to the university, and he will tell it in a way that tries to influence the outcome for who he works for. But he won't lie about it, and he'll tell you both sides of a story if you've got enough sense to ask him both sides, even the side that might not be favorable to him.
And if he can convince us that the things that we need to be doing are out there and the opportunities are there and the university can do that, he's able to do that convincing, and he's able to make that case. And when he does that, it's changing lives forever.
I think a lot of it is his temperament, his character. Richard is a very calm person. He doesn't get ruffled, and I think that makes people go to him easily with problems. And he's really good at weighing both sides of an issue, and that's very important in what he does.
He is compassionate, he is kind, he treats people with dignity and respect. And that goes for legislators from whom he has a very good relationship to legislators who see the world very differently. He treats them, all the same. He listens attentively and responds with respect.
But he has an understanding of the overall needs of higher education as a whole and its importance to our state. And so I think he's very well respected by his peers across the state of Arkansas who represent their own campuses. And everyone has an understanding that you're there to represent your campus and do the best you can for them and represent them. But also at the same time, I think his understanding for higher education as a whole is one that has gained him that respect.
Government relations is all about building relationships, both with our elected officials, our governors in our state, and also among the universities. And I think Richard realized that, and although we might compete on the sports field, we actually help each other and we're on one team because we have issues in common, as I mentioned, from funding to policy where we can be beneficial to one another.
He's built up relationships with legislators, built up relationships with governors, and as a result of that, he's able to get in the door. And that's half the battle, getting someone to stop long enough to listen to your argument or your plea or your request or whatever it might be. And that's stood him in good stead for the benefit of the University of Arkansas, and they have been the big beneficiary of the personal relationships and the hard work that he's been involved in over the years.
If he weren't there representing us, then our share of the state's support for higher education, I believe, would have gone down over time. We would have been marginalized. We would have been considered to be one of the regional universities in the state as opposed to the state's land-grant flagship university. And Richard being there always kept them on their toes to realize, yes, we are the University of Arkansas.
He spends a great deal of time in Little Rock with the governor's office and the legislators, of course, and the various agencies throughout the state. And he's calculated since 1979 that he has traveled to and from Little Rock enough to have gone around the earth 16 times or to have gone to the moon and 2/3 way back. And he's also calculated that it will take him 4.5 more years at this rate to get completely home from the moon.
Well done to Case for having the wisdom to award the Swede Johnson Achievement Award to Richard Hudson. And congratulations to Richard for receiving it.
I think Richard deserves this award. I really do. He works hard, and I think he works smart, and I'm very proud of him.
I can't imagine doing my job without having Richard Hudson at my side. He is that good. He is absolutely superb. And you know, it is very fitting to see him get this wonderful award named after Swede, who I knew many, many years ago when I first started in this business. I think that there isn't anybody in the country that's more deserving than Richard Hudson to be given this really supreme honor.